Welcome to the PanelCast. I'm your host, AJ. This is episode 300, and I have the voice of a blown-out cat. I don't know what happened. I got sick. I went to the corner, had to work extra hours so I can afford episode 300 today and afford the extra cast members for our show. That's what it is. I had to raise money so we can have Star Wars power on our show.
He just karaoke too hard for 3 days straight. I told him not to do it the third day, but he...
You know, you get in the shower and your voice hits that note. So for a week, I just didn't get out the shower. That's why I have no more hair.
Just singing Barry Manilow tunes, top of your lungs.
Very white.
He sang all the songs.
Get the berries right.
That's right. I mean,
Gotta get that low.
in the shower, I get the low notes. So I hit very. It's out the shower, I hit the high notes because it's cold. You know.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Alexander Storm and Mr. Scott Solo. How you guys doing?
Good to see you guys.
What's up, nerds? How's it going?
Good.
Pretty nerdy.
Doing good. Glad to be here on episode 300, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, this is episode 300, our 300th show. As many of you know, if you've been following us, we haven't started off like most other podcasts. We've been around since 2003, but we started off audio. Our first 100 was audio only. And we started back in the day because we were audio only because there was no cameras when we started. And so, month by month, chunk by chunk, we busted our ass. And now here we are, 300, doing a weekly show. So this is kind of a celebration for that. And because of that, we're doing a review of Maul Shadow Lord. And I had to bring in the big guns with me to talk Maul Shadow Lord. And, I already brought my boys, Joel and Joey and Freddie, who I know are down to talk some Star Wars. So I had to bring in the Star Wars big boys from Sarlacc and the Shadowe Knows Network, Alexander, so that, we can add some weight to our discussion.
Well, that's going to be Scott, man. I live in his shadow.
Oh, please.
Also, we got to get it all in there and do this episode because pretty soon we'll finally have the money for the budget, and we're just the whole show's just gonna be AI doing it for us.
Okay.
AJ and I are just gonna hang out. There'll be digital likenesses of all of us.
I'll be thinner.
We'll put in about 500 words you guys are gonna record. We'll just let it. Done.
I like
Got
13 fingers, please.
Easily done.
Yeah. Everybody's
that's what they did
with go away.
That's what they did with James Earl Jones, right? They
Except we cannot offer you the number that he probably got.
No,
I'm out.
We're so sorry. I know.
I know it's not community theater money, Scott, but
The big bucks. Yes.
we get you what we can.
Yes, community theater.
We'll comp you a Pepsi. All right?
There you go. Pepsi's for the win, man.
Yeah.
There we go. So let's talk Maul. Who saw Maul Shadow Lord? First 4 episodes came out on Disney this past week. 2 episodes in the first batch. 2 episodes in the second batch this past week. I loved it. Scott, you're an expert. Do you mind telling us what the show's about? And
sure, no problem. Sure. So this takes place. There's no set time frame, like specific time frame, but you get the feeling it's about 6 months or so after season 7 of the Clone Wars. You've got Darth Maul, coming back into his Shadow. What do they call it? The Shadow Council, not Shadow Council. That's our Patreon crew on Sarlacc Digest. The Shadow Collective. I know, right? Shameless plug. His Shadow Collective, whenever he was captured by Mandalore, his Shadow Collective just kind of abandoned him and started taking over different aspects of the crime syndicates that he controlled. So now it's him back on this previously unknown planet and just trying to reinsert himself as the syndicate leader and enacting a little bit of revenge here and there on the people that did not come to his aid and the people that betrayed him. And in the meantime, you've got a Jedi Padawan Devon and her. I cannot pronounce her master's name.
Dennis Haysbert. That's all.
Yeah, Dennis Haysbert. That's it exactly. So
Joe
the
Blue.
president from
Joe Blue.
24 is a Jedi master, and Maul senses in her, or he feels like in her, he could possibly have a kindred spirit, a Padawan of his own, an acolyte, if you will. And in the meantime, her master is, just kind of telling her to be patient, be calm. Things are going to be okay. Things are not going to be okay, though, as chaos reigns and the Empire shows up. Oh, God. I can honestly say, though, that this is the first time in any Star Wars animated show that I was hooked right off the bat. I mean, without fail. In the past, we've had Clone Wars. The Clone Wars movie didn't sit well with me. It took Clone Wars actually a little bit of time to really grab me. Rebels, on the other hand, got me pretty early on, but still the first couple episodes were a little, they were okay. And Resistance, we don't acknowledge that Resistance exists. So, but this one is the first one that really grabbed me and just hung on. It dug its claws in, and man, I am along for the ride. This thing is great.
Well, let's check out what Scott was talking about. I have a quick trailer here for you guys to watch. And then when we come back, we'll get deep into the discussion. So as soon as I can figure out which button to push, I will do it. Because I can't figure out which button to push.
Should be using the Force, AJ.
You know what?
It's appropriate.
I would push the button and use the Force if I knew where that button was. Do it, make it work. Nope, can't do it. I can't make the button work. Sorry, guys.
Joe broke it.
I was focusing really hard. Really hard.
Joel got rid of everybody. Now it's just him and AJ.
Yeah. I can't control my power. I'm sorry. It's
all right. Here we go. Is it going to show? There. Nope.
You tease.
I know, huh? I'm such a tease. Here we go.
Times have changed. I will show you the galaxy for what it truly is. See things from a new perspective.
Is this what our future holds? Always running.
I invite you to look more closely.
What are we dealing with?
Good question. And I offer you an opportunity.
Maul.
We have all been meaning to suffer. We survive. But you don't live. The Emperor wants you dead. Chains can be broken.
Hang on!
And empires can be shattered.
New pants, please.
New shirt.
New pants.
And a new
Please.
chair. Can you bring me a new chair? That was. There you have it. That's the trailer for Maul, what we're into for the season. Snippets from the first four episodes we saw on there. Snippets from other episodes we haven't seen already in there that I'm very amped for.
Yeah.
The only complaint I have about this show is Disney's refusal to show any love for the original Darth Maul actor in Ray Park. Where's his voice? Where he's not doing any stand-in work for this.
Well,
nothing. That's my only issue. But
it was never his voice, though. I mean, there was always a voice actor playing him, but Ray Park has had a few personal issues.
Right, and I follow him and what's going on with him in his life too. And I think if he had something stable like this, it would help. The choices that may have happened, and I'm not one to talk, but it seems like if you were cast as Darth Maul in Star Wars, to be Darth Maul, and then not have the faith of the studio behind you and watch your character do all this cool stuff that you're not allowed to participate in, that may have helped in his downfall or contributed a little bit.
That's work, like it was just,
Right.
it really was just a job though, and it was like 30 years ago, nearly at this point.
Sure.
They're not responsible for him the entire time.
That's true. I'm just saying I would like to have seen him be incorporated more. That's all. As a fan of Ray Park and what he brought to Maul and how he made him more martial arts and less stiff night 70s fighting, what he brought to the choreography of the role.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe I'm dumb to this, but I mean, when he still shows up and does any tables or shows up anywhere, could it potentially be that now that Maul is still getting a lot more love since they realized a long time ago how poor of an idea it was really to get rid of him in the first place so quickly, that still him showing up, could he still maybe revive some love in the character for people that didn't even know him before? I'm hoping maybe somehow it could still trickle.
I don't know. The lines show up. The people show up when he came down to the store for signing. He had a line out the door.
The big problem lately with him has been his what he did on social media. I mean, I happened to log in on Instagram that day and I saw exactly what he did, and holy crap,
I'm unaware of what it was, so
yeah, I didn't see that.
I'll look maybe later or something.
I don't know how freely we can talk about it here, but
we don't want to pull from the show too hard, right? Because we're
Right.
trying to review, but I will take a peek later to see what you're talking about.
It does not exist. It only existed that evening, and it was a video. It was not him. It was a woman that, and it's revenge. It was revenge for something, and he posted on his Instagram for public. Public
Okay.
consumption.
Well, then, never mind.
And I logged in and I'm like, hey, Ray Park. And then I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm not a prude by any stretch of the imagination, but holy hell, it was graphic and it was uncalled for.
Okay.
So, and shortly after that, he was removed from rosters and conventions because of that. So he's he's been digging himself into this hole lately, and it's been ongoing. But that one was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I unfollowed him because I'm like, I can't support somebody who's going to do that. So
I mean, and that is the bummer when you really enjoy somebody for something, but there is lines that affect whatever they make. But but the characters still getting lots of love. When I remember when I first saw the prequels on the big screen, I was like, what? But no,
that's it.
But that was the most, like, for me, a lot of the saber play in those prequels and a lot of the stuff that they gave us, the fights made up for things that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
But they really did. The people that put in the work, the choreography on those, then for us to later get films where nobody ever touches and you can see it. I'm sure we all know some places in some Star Wars where, come on, man.
Is nobody touching you?
No, it's sad.
Oh, it's okay.
It's sad. So, no, I mean, going back to that, I mean, I was bummed that he was gone, but then, later, I think this show makes me feel like I love that there's animation telling a lot of story where I'm okay with that and don't need live action.
Yeah,
all the time.
I think this was one of the better live action ones that I've noticed, where I know there's elements of the Star Wars underworld, and there's a bunch of all the things that we wanted to see more in from what I guess Lucas would have done with a television series. So I'm glad they've Dave Filoni's kind of moving back in. You get to see a different element. I gave I thought this was the better one when it came to when Maul's trying to turn the Padawan. And it gave a clear definition that there's something flawed within the Jedi philosophy when they are still trying to be the protectors of the galaxy. And yet Maul makes a very interesting point where it just doesn't make sense anymore. Why are they not, like, using power in a different way, or like, abandoning their actual one mission? And that's to, serve the, serve justice throughout the galaxy. There's no longer justice needed in that one. So I think it's a very good balance that I thought they did with Maul. Plus, it is some of the best lightsaber play, and you get to see Maul at a different level and peak that you kind of glance over when every time you see him pop in, and he's going through, like, this is, now you see what the element of Solo was, and how he's this crime boss. And I dig that element, and I hope this is not a one season thing, because I would like to see them build up a little bit more and get a little bit more of these characters and all this underworld stuff in. I think it's a great series.
I think one of the interesting things that I heard recently was that when Maul lights up his lightsaber, the noise you hear is part of it is Sam Witwer's screams.
Yeah.
He recorded his screams into the lightsaber blade lighting up.
Wow.
So
they've been doing a lot of unique. They've been doing a lot of unique sound effects with lightsabers in the past several years, but actually having him, that was pretty cool, especially to watch the video, because I actually showed them recording it. I'm like, oh, that's so
I got all goosebumpy and stuff. I was like, that's sick.
And that's a guy that is down and made it very clear. He says, "I'm down for anything you'll let me do." He wants to be part of it.
He wants to shave his head and go back and be
absolutely.
And go back and be Darth Vader's apprentice. I can't remember his name. Scott, I'm sure you know his name.
Yeah, well, there are iterations of Star Killer.
Galen Merrick.
Galen Merrick. It's so, man.
Plus, Witwer's knowledge of Star Wars rivals Dave Filoni's. I mean, it is. They are on par with one another. In fact, there's been a couple of instances where Witwer has corrected Filoni in a couple of things that he said, just once or twice, and it's like, and Dave was like, "Oh, you're right." It's like, oh, damn, this guy knows his stuff. I don't know.
Good. I still can't forgive Sam Witwer for what he did to Doomsday in Smallville.
I like to think that's not his fault, but I get it.
He said yes. That's all I'm saying.
He did.
He could have said no, but he said yes. I want to throw a quick shout out to everybody in the chat room. I know you guys brought some friends with you, and we appreciate it. Darth Moochers, what's up, guys? Dr. Brentley, how's it going out there? We put all our chat up on the side over here so you guys can see it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So feel free to answer and reply in the chat room. Please keep us talking. We love it. Yeah, like you said, Scott, as soon as I've been a Darth Maul fan since he showed up on the screen in Phantom, and have been a hardcore Maul fan ever since. And ever since when he showed up on the screen here, the trailer got me right away.
Yeah.
And then the series started, and I knew I was hooked. So I watched the first episode, say, okay. Left that room, got me a full drink, got a vape, got some munchies, sat back down. I watched the rest of the 3 episodes with the door shut, my time dedicated, because I wanted to spend time with this. And I was not disappointed. Everything about it, the voice acting, the choreography, the animation, the style, everything about it is awesome. I love it.
Well, everything animated that Maul's been in, they pushed him higher up. Like, we already knew physically what we expected from him, but his intellect, they pushed that villain into being much more up in the range of, yes, he can scrap, but he's up to a lot more than that and has much bigger plans versus his original introduction is mostly being a tool, being a lackey. Oh no, so he got all the layers of the onion now from everything we've seen.
I had mentioned in our show last night about the fact that makes so much sense, because if you think about it, Maul was raised as an infant by Palpatine, or he was in Palpatine's orbit since he was an infant. He watched the machinations take place with Palpatine. He watched as Palpatine manipulated his way in. There's no way he didn't pick up on some of those skills, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that man got to this age where he is in the galaxy, being able to form the Shadow Collective and whatnot, and not take those same political skills in with him. So
nor would he been picked. Palpatine would not have chosen to have anybody around him unless he already felt they were of
that caliber of character.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes perfect sense, and just that the scene where he's pouring the tea and he's got his lightsaber there, and he talks. It's like what he did with Ezra Bridger, right? He talked to Ezra Bridger on almost not a master to apprentice level, but almost as a peer at times to tell him how, I know how you feel. And it's a really seductive way to bring it in.
He really juggled his brain around.
Yeah.
He really did. Without,
Thank you, Mooch. Thanks for the 300 shout out. I just love the way his character just flipped. You know what I mean? He's just suddenly, he's not playing games in that scene. Like, he's being honest and legit.
Yeah.
And it's her reaction to his reputation that's got her afraid of everything. He's just being like, come sit, have some tea, let's chat. Let me learn who you are so I can teach you.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I think it comes from
that's feeding his knowledge all at the same time. And I love that scene.
Yeah, I think it comes from the fact is, again, he knows what betrayal is. You've seen now that the Jedi has been betrayed, so now that emotion and that feeling, again, they do a great job of giving you the first time where you can see two sides of the Force that equally have the same argument down the line. And that's a blurred kind of thing where you could kind of see more people being seduced to the dark side that are Jedi, because again, they're running across the galaxy hiding. They're poor, they're basically at the mercy of people's kindness. And that's just when you've been on the top of the mountain, it sucks when you go down to that level. And Maul can feel the same kind of point. So it's a very good seduction between that. And I thought that's what made this series interesting. And the voice acting work is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you look at his crew, he's handling Mandalorians. Who handles Mandalorians? Like, they don't let themselves be handled like that.
At this point in time, he wields the Darksaber. He does have possession of the Darksaber, so technically he still is the ruler of Mandalore, whether they like it or not. Because we all follow that. From the Mandalorian, whoever holds the Darksaber wields Yeah. So at this point in time, they're following his lead. If somebody else got the Darksaber, would they drop him like a bad habit?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And where did all these Maul people show up?
Well, I mean,
the other Zabraks.
Yeah.
I mean, their planet. I mean, that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
A whole world and a whole parts of the whole Star Wars universe was created after Maul. Later, that I know. Book-wise and story-wise, until he was entered in, I don't remember them speak. I mean, did they pull that race first?
No, the Zabraks first showed up in episode 1. We had Even Piel and you also had Darth Maul. But the planet there that he's specifically from, Dathomir, came back from the Courtship of Princess Leia novel back in 1997, I want to say. Terrible book.
And they described the race. They described it as we see it now. Did they utilize that?
They introduced the planet Dathomir and the witches of Dathomir, like Mother Talzin and all that. They all came from that planet. But the Zabraks, I don't think they linked the Zabraks to Dathomir until Clone Wars. I don't remember them being in Clone War or associated with Dathomir before that. So they were created for episode 1. Just they linked them to the old backstory, witches of Dathomir and stuff. So
see why I pulled these guys in for this episode?
But
so we all get an education.
It's a big world. If you want to include every book, every written thing, comic book, regular book, anything totally Star Wars, you do have to put in actual college exam studying for your midterm and your final, because it's
Well, especially
deep.
now, you got to separate what was lore and what's not lore. Like what was canon before
Canon,
is
non-canon,
no longer
extended
canon now.
universe.
Well, and the old legends were never technically canon. It's just George Lucas said that the only things that are canon are the things that you see on screen.
Right,
Everything
but-
else is just kind of expanded universe legend.
video game editions that are purely just video game editions that don't even
Mhm.
have books to back them up, but they're amazing.
I don't care.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see Dash Rendar on screen still.
Pass. I am not a Shadows of the Empire fan. It had some cool characters in there, like Shizor was a cool character and whatnot, but otherwise, I just think it was it's all right.
For the time when it came out, I loved it.
Yeah,
It gave us some toys. It gave us some
It
toys
did.
that we never got from the coin series towards the end of the 80s. Some of those
Mhm.
figures were released in that line. From what I understand, some of the figures were supposed to have been released. That's what I understood.
I don't
Okay.
remember it.
They renamed them and used them for other things. At least the basic sculpt ideas that they didn't finish out that coin line.
Yeah,
But hey,
the power of the Force.
not the power of the force. The power of the force at the end. Yeah, the end of the 80s.
Scott, you're being asked
but
to show your Dash Rendar tattoo.
Yeah, I know it's Moocher. He likes picking on me. No, it's for me, Shadows of the Empire was we want to do a Star Wars book, but don't know how to do a Star Wars book without Han Solo. So let's make Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
And that I mean, essentially, he was Han Solo. Just yeah. It was all right. I just recently reread it, so I'm pretty refreshed on it. I went into it with a fresh set of eyes, thinking, okay, yeah, maybe I'm missing something. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
There was a cool collector card series of
It was
art.
a fun
was.
video game, damn it.
I-
Stop taking my childhood away.
The video game was great. So was the
Yeah,
soundtrack.
the game was
I mean,
great. The game was where it was
that
at.
was
Yeah.
that was the way to do it back in the day, man. They had a video game, the book, the comic books, the action figures.
Yeah.
The soundtrack. They released it all at once in a big media blitz. They did better on Shadows of the Empire than they're doing with Mando and Grogu right now. But different times, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
game was
Mitch
peak.
agrees the game was peak, as the kids
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be juicing that license for a long time. So there's going to be a lot more Star Wars something for decades to come.
Did you guys
who
see the
knows?
Mandalorian and Grogu trailer that dropped today? It's
I
the
did.
final
Yeah.
trailer.
Nah.
How much
Holy
more
crap.
was there? Was there a lot more in there?
There was a lot of good new
Considerable?
stuff in it. It was very cinematic. Let me put
Okay.
it that way, because
Can't
the
watch any
past
more
couple of
'cause I don't
trailers,
want them to give any more away.
the past
I
couple
enjoy
of
what I've
trailers have
seen,
been,
I don't want to ruin anything else. You know,
I honestly
past
try to
couple
keep my
trailers have been
spoilers
okay.
to just what you guys spoil for me, and then I don't really look. That's it. Because
Gotcha.
some of my favorite things I walked into knowing or seeing really nothing.
yeah.
And like I'm just gonna say the Hail Mary Project. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I do nothing, next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Went to see it, appreciated. I knew nothing. It was all fresh and amazing to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Great film.
So that was. But then some things you can't avoid. You just got to see something. Give me something.
Yeah.
Independence Day, I'll swear by it. Independence Day was the best marketing campaign ever.
Oh, dude,
All they showed was the
billboards,
White House blowing up.
and
That's
the
all I had to
billboards.
say.
billboards all over LA.
Yeah.
They showed the White House blowing up. That was the trailer. And then leading into the movie, they had that 30-minute news segment where the aliens actually invaded. And they were showing like the alien invasion and the world blowing up and stuff. And then you went into Independence Day and you finally got to see what the movie was about. And
And it gave us true fiction. The president actually flying a fighter plane.
Yeah.
That is actual fiction because it will never happen. Certainly not to save us ever. Maybe to flee and escape like Cobra Commander, but not to go maybe die to save us. That is true fiction.
Yeah, that's not a true American president, no.
The Star Wars universe is going to happen sooner in real life than that. So,
all right, I think that about wraps us up on the Maul talk. We think it's great. Everybody but Joey loves it. Joey's just a hater because he hasn't watched it.
Okay.
My only issue is I didn't watch the My only issue is I didn't get to watch the latest 2 episodes because I didn't know they came out. So I'm a little behind.
It's Monday. They drop on Monday.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it either because
Weird
it's
day.
normally a Tuesday, Wednesday thing. So yeah.
Would you like it? Would you have watched it better if it was Maul rats? Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Me?
Just try to now picture those characters. Try to smush that together and see the ridiculousness in your head.
Ladies,
Sorry,
ladies,
Paul,
ladies, you ever have your licked by a fat man in an overcoat?
Yeah.
You ever have your laser licked by a fat man in an overcoat?
Oh, yeah.
Dude. What do we got next on the?
Would you force me?
Yeah.
Joey's not a fan.
I'd
You're
force
not a
me.
fan, Joe?
No, I am a fan. Actually, I am a
So
fan.
hard.
I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Life has been in the
okay.
way. Life has just been in the way
You
of
got
watching it. Yeah, but usually I am. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And
I
this
wasn't
sounds
sure
great.
if you were. Yeah,
And
it is.
yeah. And I was also
In
curious.
case you can't tell, Scott is from the Sarlacc Digest. He has it all over him.
I can read it.
Where's my hat? I think I left my hat in my car.
It was either that or the guy that actually is. You jumped him, took all of his crap, and didn't have any shame, and just put it all up and be like,
Right.
I have no shame.
you know,
I'm very well branded.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Good.
There you go.
You should be. Way to go.
right on.
So next up, who watched Daredevil?
I did.
Scott, did you want to stick around for this conversation, or you want to use the time to file out and go to sleep?
I'm actually gonna bounce because I got no sleep last night and I
All right.
worked building sets all day. So I'm out. Gentlemen, thank you for having me on board.
Thank you.
Absolutely, bro.
Scott
Absolutely.
Solo from the Starlight Gadget. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us. We appreciate your
Thank you.
expertise and your words on the subject. And thank you for
I
joining
appreciate
us.
the invite. Thank you for having me on
Absolutely,
the. Congratulations on 300.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Where
on.
can we catch you, Scott? Tell us about your shows.
You can find us right on YouTube every Wednesday with the Sarlacc Digest. We go 8 p.m. live stream every Wednesday. And then on Monday, this guy right here, Alexander Storm, and we're on the Sarlacc Toy Chest every Monday at 5:30 p.m. with Darth Moocher. He's our showrunner, and Tommy from Blitz Transmissions, also from the SKN Network. So, and the Syndicate, we are the Syndicate. So you can find us on that, or we also have our Discord. I'm sure Alex, I'm new to the Discord thing. It's like an old school chat room, and it's just, you know.
I'll run the Spilo when you go.
He's got it all. But yeah, catch us live on those days. And thank you again for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Our pleasure. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you next time.
Absolutely.
All right.
Talk
Keep
to
it
you
nerdy, guys. See ya.
Later. And then there was us.
Oh, now I have enough room to stretch. Oh,
Were you feeling a little cramped over there, Freddie?
That
Oh,
really
a little
moved
bit.
on the screen like the Brady Bunch. We don't
I
have
know.
near as many kids involved, but we went boo doo.
We're still celebrity squares right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Daredevil. I don't have any trailers for Daredevil. I'm sorry.
that's
If you
okay.
don't
We're
know
going to be able to see him.
what Daredevil, then I don't know what to tell you. This season of Daredevil came, and I don't know what to say about it personally. This season shows Kingpin as the mayor of Kingpin taking on a more military type role, more control over the city, more control over the anti-vigilante task force, just running them like ice, going through the streets of New York, tearing down everybody they think might be a vigilante or might be associated with a vigilante, in fear of just showing his power and control over all of New York City. And in doing so, staging what is also a high stream media event with the boxing, to be a boxing exhibition against a boxer called the Matterhorn, to crescendo all of this to show just how powerful Wilson Fisk actually is. In the meantime, we have our normal supervillains like Bullseye, the Swordsman, and all that running around. Swordsman taking on a different role in this series this year.
Well, Bullseye. He's also doing some very out of typical character things.
Absolutely.
But I've been okay with it.
Bullseye.
I've been okay with it because he's been pretty one dimensional in the comic and otherwise, just to me, you know. But I always loved the character. But he's got more dimension now, at least so far with their, you know.
Yeah. Yes, Mooch. Thank God Scott's gone.
this was the season that when they said Daredevil, the new season lives again or whatever,
Born Again.
Born Again. This is what I thought it was going to be. It was Daredevil, and it's Bullseye, and there's a church. And
Oh yeah, you're thinking Frank Miller, right? You're thinking some Frank Miller.
It's called Born Again.
Yeah.
It's what it's what the reference is.
Yeah.
This is what I thought, and I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the first season. I did it a lot, but it was such a preamble. It was just a precursor to this is what I want. That opener with Bullseye in the diner was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they put him. I do not agree that Bullseye was a one-dimensional character. He was a great villain, one of the great Daredevil villains, and he's finally getting some due other than licking his forehead.
Colin Farrell from the original movie.
He deserves this characterization of him as a villain. In fact, it's humanizing him better than he probably deserves. But it's great.
Well, that's what I mean. Like he didn't have a whole lot of redeemable moments that I remember.
No, he's an irredeemable character. They're actually giving him more due than he deserves.
God, he is doing nothing good.
And
I guess that's what I meant by that extra dimension that he didn't have before.
Well,
like you should be scared of him because he's crazy. He's absolutely.
So is the season over? Was it only 6 episodes?
No, there's more.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I just think crescendoing and where we're at now.
Yeah, I suspect before the end of the season we're going to see a turn. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
he's hard to kill.
They invested already. Everybody that we're seeing at this point, I think they want to keep. We don't know who they're going to throw in. You may still get some semblance of what you're wanting visually. We don't know yet, right?
Well, who watched last night's episode?
I didn't catch last night. That's the last night. That's the one episode I wasn't able to get. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't catch up last night either.
Wait,
watching it again?
Hold on. Are there 5 or 6? Because I've only seen 5 so far. Was there 6 last night?
6 dropped last night.
Yeah, I've only seen 5. So
yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah, the Watcher one and the boxing match was the last one I caught, but there's one after that.
Wait. No, I saw the one after that. The aftermath with his wife.
Okay, then I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that's that one. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I ended up either.
Oh. All right, I'll shut up.
I did see the boxing match as well. So.
Yeah, no,
it's fine. It's fine. I'll catch it afterwards.
There's another episode after that, and yes, but it's not as much as far as action. It's more of a character-driven, where you're catching up with certain things, and it's after I won't ruin it for AJ since anyone else didn't watch it, but it is more of a talking head episode.
Yeah.
Than action. So that's the best part about it. And then there's, Daredevil and Bullseye and, Kingpin and his wife. There's a little bit of just more or less scene by scene by scene. So it slows it down at that episode. And I think it does need to get slowed down. I thought Joey, the season 1, I didn't like season 1 because I knew what season 1 was. Season 1 was they had shot in almost all of season 1. They figured out that it did not work, and they did the same thing with Echo. They went back and they started cutting in episodes with a new team, and it just seemed like it was a mismatch. I don't think they portrayed the Punisher as well as he is, because he was more a punching bag. Now you see it this season, and he's it's from the even though it's Born Again, but it's also him in black through that series. He looks fantastic. His motivation's there. I love the fact is that now with Karen Page, he is more of the person trying to wrinkle her in because she's going to the extremes. The layers are thick. I know the Defenders are showing up as well, and I think this is when they got Marvel TV right. This was the era where they kind of I think before they were having a very hard time with the Falcon and Winter Soldier and it wasn't quite working, but the Netflix grounded characters is what they can do with television without a lot of special effects, but run good character arcs. I'm looking forward to even season 3 because you're seeing the people that's popping on. And you're like, wow, they have really done a really good job. And then I heard after that they're supposed to do a standalone Daredevil movie. So he's back. We've got Punisher, the one kill shot that's coming in the next 4 to 6 weeks. It's going to be on.
Yeah,
and then
in May sometime.
Yeah,
That's great.
he's in Brand New Day as well with Spider-Man. This is how you work the universe with these grounded characters. I'm digging the stuff that Marvel Studios doing. Unfortunately, in the point of them cutting 1,300 people the other day. I'm digging what they're doing right now, though.
Yeah.
Well,
all the visual people that did that made this too.
Yes.
I like that you see, and I barely caught this, and it was an accident, but in the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, you see Charlie Cox in orange in prison jumpsuit, being led away. So at the end of the season he's going to jail.
Yeah, something's gonna change. Well, or we don't even know if it's in the season. We don't know where it's taking place. That's the strange thing. Is it before?
But
after,
some way, shape, or form, Marvel is laying tracks.
Yeah.
And Marvel is dropping breadcrumbs everywhere they're going.
Yeah.
And that's what they're really good about. They're good about pre-mapping and foreshadowing. Hopefully, if something goes wrong in the meantime, like if Charlie Cox turns out to be a douchebag or something, they can, if they have another problem like they did with the Time Lord with Kang.
Yeah. That was unexpected, though. You can't.
Major.
But that wasn't working though either though. So it was very easy for them to pivot when the Kang the Conqueror did not work.
Lifetime that they can pivot and just ignore it and keep going with something different.
I think Charlie Cox is a fan favorite, and I think that look, some of the original Netflix series, especially those one camera takes, are some of the best Marvel that they've ever done. And so I think he's a good actor. I think they've gotten the street heroes down, and it makes it easier when we're watching, on Disney Plus, because it's kind of hard when you're putting the Falcon and Winter Soldier movie actors on that kind of stage, and you're expecting the same kind of budget that you would as a blockbuster, but you don't have that for that. I think this works out better, and we're not as disappointed because these are street level characters, and it works.
We're not dealing with cosmic problems here.
And that's the thing. And you brought up the Kang thing, and people were tired, and it wasn't working. And I'm over the multiverse thing. I like this street level thing that we're going right now. I like this path they're taking with all these. I like Daredevil being a competent, ascending character again. Like, it's cool. I like that. I like what they're doing right now quite a bit.
But they still buffet it. They pull little bits from comics and things, and they're still going in a way that we can't tell where they're going to go because they just take,
we can predict some things, unfortunately. Anyway.
But I think that's what it's, I think that's Marvel at its strength, is that, they do have a very good respect of the books, but yet also aren't afraid to take it down a detour that we didn't at all see. Because if you do have, when you're book by book and you've read it and you've done it and you spent your lifetime reading these books, it does kind of kill a little mystery if something's coming.
That's the hard choice, right? Do we do comics for the fans that love the comics, or do we try to find that love and shake it up? It's a tough, but you're right. You already know what happens, and they're just going to do it page for page.
Hold on, but did Thanos snap spoil it for you? Those who knew that Thanos snapped it, did it spoil it for you? Because it shocked the world, but it didn't shock us, and yet it still had the same level of impact.
That's why when Vanessa got shot,
it was great, and we knew it was coming. We saw it coming like a wave, and you're like, yes, bring it to me. And
300 was almost, I'm not saying page for page, but probably one of the closest page for page, almost page for page things I've ever seen done in film versus the comic. I mean, that was like
verbatim.
That was the closest I've ever seen.
There were a couple of scenes that they added in themselves, but also 300 is a different tooling compared to the 80 years of Marvel. A lot of people didn't see 300, or read 300, so it had its effect differently. But with Marvel, these are almost our modern day fairy tales. They're ingrained in, like, you can go around the world and you can pick someone out. They know Spider-Man, and you can go to a different lady. They know who Superman is, and because they become modern fairy tales, these are Red Riding Hoods of, like, for the next 100 years. That's what makes it.
Can you think of a single one that's come out? Marvel, Disney, anything that really was
for verbatim
comic? No,
it's been a while.
I can't.
It's been a while.
You know, they've been playing kind of doing their own
thing.
They've been doing their own thing since Iron Man.
And I think look, that bold prediction too. Again, if you kind of
Fantastic Four, man. What are you talking about?
Well, I just meant that they were. No, we were going all the way back. I meant when Disney had they shuffle the cards and they seem to pull.
I think it's very smart for them to do that, though. Again, it's your expectation is you're building media for people that are familiar with it, but also at the same time, you have to have a casual respect for people that's never seen it. So they've done a good job from 8 to 80, bringing people into these. It's incredibly smart, and it's something that DC's always had a problem with their films. They wanted to. Marvel took its time and they had a 10-year plan, and we're like, we're going to see the Avengers at this point, and they did a great job of that, and they moved it through. DC wanted to say we got to have Justice League instantly, and the patience of what they've done. Yeah. For these last 15 years is amazing, and just TV and everything. And again, we all wanted the Defenders back. They were unwilling to do that through the Netflix thing, and now they've actually embraced that. So it feels like Marvel's at a hole again, and it's good to see this, man, because I know a lot of people were bored with what Marvel started to do over the last wave or series. People did not like that last series. That it was terrible, man. That last one with the Marvels and the Eternals, and he started coming out with characters that people were like, "Well, who are these?" Because we want to see Captain America, we want to see the Avengers, we want to see familiar characters we've grown our entire life on. They're getting back to that a little bit.
I think if you're able to step away and relax a bit and let it come and not be as critical, I think you will enjoy it more. There's some characters I love that I've had to just even look at myself and say, dude, shut up. It was still good. It wasn't. I'm a heavy Punisher character. There's been a lot of things. That's not what we're talking about right now, but I've had to back up and say, you know what? No, I like this.
Yeah.
But there's things that were hard for me to.
Whose villain is the swordsman? No one.
Yeah. They think maybe West Coast Avengers.
He was killed early on in like the 80s, and he was never brought back. He's like a legacy character.
He was the Black Knight's bad guy.
He was like.
Since Dane isn't in the show,
he fought the Defenders. He was part of the Defenders universe back in the 70s, I believe. But he died early on in the 80s, and then he was just part of.
There's a Swordsman 2 and a Swordsman 3.
Yeah.
But then that was mostly over in Britain with Captain Britain and all that stuff. Excalibur, and the point I'm trying to make is he's a no-name character. He was a B League, and they just made him look like the man in this episode.
Remember there was the Marvel's A to Z? Remember the comic line that just did every single character? Like
who's who in the Marvel universe?
Yeah. There was a time when I feel like they were just pumping out as many characters as they could for DC and Marvel when they were just like, we don't know. Just different color suits. Let's pump as many.
You have 50 years of continuity. That's the thing. You like Alexander. I was talking about earlier. There's 50 years of continuity, 60, 100 years of continuity at this point.
Yeah,
just layers and layers of stories and versions, and
But I think at our core, we just want to see, the street level characters. It's great because cosmic battles and all. We've got Doomsday, and we got the films to see that, and I think that's very wise to separate it. But on television, you just want to see, how's this guy that maybe has a minimum amount of power? How's he going to get out of this? And of course, they've done a great job.
They've got to use the good old,
But in contrast to that, Monarch is killing it right now. And they've got Godzilla and King Kong on almost every episode.
Yep, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's have a show like that and not have Godzilla and King Kong on it.
But also it comes back to great acting too, because look, Wyatt and Kurt, that's the best casting I think I've ever seen for a television series. It's like get your son to play a younger version of him, and because the mannerisms, they kind of, first of all, I think Wyatt kind of got that slack for just being the U.S. agent, and a lot of people didn't think he was that great of an actor. But when he
I
mimics
feel- I
his
blame the
father,
part.
he's fantastic, brother.
I blame the
Yeah.
part. I don't blame him for that. 'Cause I
Yeah,
saw him already do good
exactly.
stuff. But that whole show,
Yeah, it was very lackluster. They didn't do any favors that, but
it made me
Monarch
feel like
is a
it's been
fantastic
put in
show.
the
man.
shower. I couldn't use hot enough water to wipe that show away from me. But that's just me. And it wasn't the actor's fault. There's a lot of great people. I thought that was literally, oh, you gave us this, but we still got to do it. Thanks.
It's sometimes look, how can you do Captain America without Steve Rogers? It's always hard to do that. You know, again, I don't care what you do. The first thing we're going to think of is Steve Rogers. He's just ingrained in our points. It's hard to change characters and legacy characters. Just, you should have had Iron Man back. You should have just recasted Black Panther. You should have recasted those characters and brought them back and rebooted them, because that's all we see in the Marvel universe. Really.
Sadly, that particular show, the villains ultimately wasn't enough of a villain for me, and they really downplayed the abilities of both the main characters, who showed far more ability in other things they were in, and all of a sudden now they took them from 10s and really watered them down. But anyway, that's a different thing.
Sure.
We are so far from our point.
But I do appreciate the street level, just because when you have the cosmic thing, just one more thing, you are always trying to top it. It's always trying to be the next bigger and bigger and bigger, and you get exhausted with that. The audience gets exhausted with that. This is where you can settle in, and there are real stories you can tell. You don't always have to have the world ending kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
But on the opposite side of that, I'm still sitting here like, wait, this is New York. Where's Spider-Man? Where's all the New York superheroes?
They're getting there. It's expensive. Be realistic.
Hold on.
Oh.
You've got militia on the street beating the shit out of innocent people and taking them in. You've got all this terrorism crap happening on the ground, and our superheroes are supposedly floating around somewhere while the street level guys fight one-on-one, and it's illegal for them to fight one-on-one.
Maybe they're
You got the new Avengers who are literally set up in that block, and they're not doing anything to help out. So nobody else.
This mystery has existed many, 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 many times.
Yeah.
Why? It's rotating vacations, AJ. Certain characters applied. They're like, look, I gotta go in August. I'm sorry. I'm taking the whole fam. That happens. There's so many times. You're right that there should have been people there that are not.
All I'm saying is that if a big ship exploded, the North Star exploded in dock like it did, you're telling me now Iron Man doesn't send a suit out there to see what's going on?
But you gotta get on the point that Sony's not giving up Spider-Man to pop in those series, man.
Yeah.
They're just not gonna do
Sony
it.
just gave up rights to all of Spider-Man's videos so that Marvel can share them.
Yeah, but they're never. Sony's not gonna allow him to be in a TV show. They're not gonna have Tom Holland.
I'm just saying.
Disney's gonna have to buy something.
Spider-Man. Many of all of Marvel is based in fucking New York.
Well, you got to think. Remember, most of the Avengers have been torn apart. Washington D.C. is where Captain America is, trying to clean up that mess.
And yet, Senator Bucky, a senator, can show up and suddenly do all these covert missions.
They grab.
Right.
They grab, and
all I'm saying is that if Kingpin is going to run New York the way he's doing, his crime needs to fit the heroes that are going to fight him. If his crimes are blowing up docks and destroying and running this kind of street stuff, then why aren't the bigger heroes stepping in? His street crimes need to be a little bit lower to attract the kind of.
How many times have we seen in the comics that's also been the case? How many times has Daredevil really kind of been on his own and like Spider-Man hasn't shown up? Or, the Punisher's been running from every person, and you're like, well, how could the Avengers not know where and find the Punisher down? They've kind of done it. It's hard to get the whole encompassed universe. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just tough to do that in a TV show to make it conducive of a budget.
Also, that's just one of those things that bugs me.
You got to suspend your disbelief a little bit and just say the Avengers are in Antarctica right now,
Yeah.
and the X-Men are in the Australia again. They got summoned by Gateway or something. You know,
like that in the reverse somewhere.
In that non-revolving door, like the Punisher has shown up in many other people's comics, but if you read just the Punisher, very rarely. There are people that show up and have shown up, and I haven't read every single Punisher comic ever done.
But they talk about the other heroes.
But most of the time, he is kind of just trying to make it on his own.
But they did give you the Watcher. You know, I'm sure we're gonna see in brand new day Mayor Fisk like campaign flyers somewhere. I'm sure they're gonna blend it so well, but you know, again, Sony
they have
and
a
that
comment
is a
from
very
Dr.
hard
Brantley saying they should have Mr. Fisk ask why they haven't arrested the Avengers.
Yeah,
and they have some excuse for this exact reason.
Yeah, it's the simple writing thing, man. But you know, again, certain times in these fractions, just like in Marvel Comics, certain writers and everything can do things, and it'd be like, stay away from this character. You know, you look at the Arrowverse, and when it was on the whole on screen with Snyder, hey, you can't touch this character, you can't do this kind of thing, and so it's hard when you have so many divisions and the characters running around. So
we've lived with the whole world of the X-Men and everything with mutants and being out, you know, just being, you know, that whole world and this whole thing. We've lived with that separate for the most part when they should, but
now we're in a world where everything's blending together. I don't
agree. Just like with comics, you only get one crossover a year. That's it. Don't be greedy.
Yeah. Do that big summer one that costs about $35-$40 and everything to buy all the issues.
And you have to buy like 12 issues of everybody's dumb solo comic to get to it. Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes our Daredevil. We all seem to be enjoying the show. We're all liking it. We can't recommend it enough to everybody that's out there watching it. This is the second season of the comeback series that they have. The first one being last season's. We're about 6 episodes into it, I believe.
Yeah.
2, maybe 3 episodes left to the end of the season. Give it a shot if you haven't. It's bingeable as hell. Very dangerously bingeable.
That's how I had to watch it.
And now we're going to switch over to the AEW match of the week.
What?
You want to hang out with us, Alex? I know you like some wrestling.
I'll hang out a little longer, guys.
All right, here we go. The match of the week is Will Ospreay versus Hechicero. So let's see if I can get that going. If I push the right button this time. No. Yes. No. It's not working.
We're going to have to loan you guys Steve over here.
I know.
And it seemed like he hung on, and Ospreay's body just snapped back over his neck. Cover 1, 2. Oh, Ospreay forced to use the bottom rope. Any predicament, it's not often that you ever see Ospreay escape like that. Ospreay was very lucky to be close to the ropes, and even the way that Hechicero pinned Will Ospreay there, he was putting so much pressure on Will Ospreay's neck. And look at him just opening Will Ospreay up with those punches. And the Dr. Sampson, is going to check on Will Ospreay.
Fans, we have a tense situation here. We're going to stick with the action on Dynamite. Don't go anywhere. Ospreay transitions into a triangle choke.
Unnecessary, you see, popping that shoulder up off the mat to keep the submission in tight.
Boy, Will Ospreay has so much heart, Excalibur. Look at him fight. Yeah, standing up is not what you want to do to that. Is that correct, Brian?
No, actually, you can stand up. That's one way to counter out.
But not if he hyperextends your elbow.
Not if he hyperextends your elbow. That's a done a great job controlling that arm.
It's amazing.
How in the hell did he get that on him? My God, what a move! Especially with the weight of Hechicero. I'm surprised he can get it right. Ospreay! 1, 2, 3. Oh no! Oh! Will Ospreay's former partner, former friend, Mark Davis, now who's throwing his lot with the Don Callis family. Oh, Davis!
There was a lot more of that match, and it was a lot more exciting, more technical moves put on all over the place. I loved it. There was a lot of wrestling this week, especially with the pay-per-view going on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of matches to choose from. This one I picked because it was Will Ospreay is the high flyer, and Hechicero is a grounded tech wrestler who was the CML champion at the time. And the match they put on was a 20-minute awesome move fest that was high flying, just counter moves back and forth all over the place. And I can't recommend it enough. And if you have a chance, go find the whole match online and check it out. It's fantastic. Great example of two styles that don't go together, working seamlessly, effortlessly in a smooth match. Hechicero versus Ospreay. There you go.
All right. That was impressive.
I'm just bummed because honestly, realistically, I got about maybe, if I'm lucky, 2 hours a day to consume something to watch, and there is more homework than and like I said, I've said before, it's the best worst problem that there's more good content to see than I've got time to do. But if you have no excuse not to have something to reach for, if you want to watch something, sure. And I think you had even said too, and I agreed that there's more, specifically in wrestling, there's more wrestling available than there ever has been.
Now there's so many different promotions out there other than WWE that it's almost ridiculous, but it's great because you're watching all this independent wrestling, all these wrestlers you would never hear of before, reaching the top of their talent, the peak of their talent, without having to sell their soul for what seems like a WWE contract. There's more televised networks that are streaming wrestling on a regular basis during the week now. That's hard not to come across anything that isn't wrestling.
Well, in this day and era, wrestling has always been it's a blue collar sport, and it's made for standard guys that work 9 to 5. And when you can keep that concept, the beautiful part about it being on so many networks, and a lot of the independent ones are really kind of starting to get a little fraction and doing their own streaming, and YouTube's helped that a lot too, because now they've got equal playing field with this. It brings and shines a light to what the WWE and TKO is kind of doing. It is for guys that want to see somebody at a high school gymnasium that are out there putting on their talent for a little bit of money, but yet they have that passion. It's always been that. We're starting to see that sport where ticket prices are amazing. It's made for family. It's made for people in the Midwest that get off work a Friday night and you want to see that kind of thing, but you're allowed it to. And now they've kind of trying to change that into this elitist kind of thing. And that to me is the one thing that's been kind of disappointing. It is blue collar.
There's been periods when there was a lot of monopoly.
People buying, man.
Remember, there was only a couple. You know, there was very little option between studios for wrestling for a minute there. Yeah. So the more competition we have, the more it's being shown. It makes them work a little harder for us, because now we have to decide if we've only got those so many hours. Like you said, if you're working, you get off work, I can't watch all of it. So they've got to give it to us. But also, main thing too is, like I said, now more than ever, proper compensation and a possibility for wrestlers to actually, well, you know, it's like anytime you talk about music contracts early on, right? This is the best time where someone can actually do something with it. So
I think if you got a camera, YouTube thing, now you have that opportunity to maybe get one of these larger like circuits to pick you up. But also, there are so many independent circuits that people can go to now, so you're not trapped in it's the WCW, WWF era where you're just like, you've only got 2 options, and kid, I'm sorry, you just don't have it. I'm starting to really watch a lot more independents that are on. I'll get my camera off because it usually always acts up every now and then. But I'm watching more things where they're out, through YouTube, and you just see some of these great wrestlers out here. They're doing a great job, and they're just doing it for the love of it because they're not getting compensated. That's what I want to see, is somebody's pure passion for it, man.
Absolutely agree with you.
You got to bring 2 things: quality character and moves. You need both, I think.
Well, that leads me to the next thing I was going to bring up. What's coming up this week, actually it's coming up tomorrow, is another wrestling promotion. And I've got the trailer for last year's promo. I'm going to show you. It's called Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Alex, I don't know if you've heard this promotion.
I haven't heard it, no.
This is Catch Can Catch wrestling.
Okay.
Okay, this is the old school carnival style wrestling where there's no ring posts, there's no ropes.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just fish hooks, brawl, knuckle fighting, hard hitting, almost MMA style wrestling.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And it's coming up tomorrow on a pay-per-view. This is a trailer, a highlight reel from last year's event to give you an idea of what this year's event is going to be like.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So that's just a sample of the wrestling you're going to get tomorrow if you tune in on this.
How is that different than normal wrestling? And also, how do you call it a blood sport and there's no blood?
There's plenty of blood, and this isn't rehearsed.
Okay. All right.
So it's as close to the real thing as you're going to get. There's a couple of times where the matches are like, oh my God, you could tell that's so rehearsed.
Yeah.
But other times you're just like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that to a certain extent where I let it go, where there's some acrobatics and things that I just appreciate seeing it done. And I know the only way you can do it is to have that communication between wrestlers. Or again, people die, get hurt, don't walk off the same. So that's where I'll trade. Hey, that was just sick. They had to have had a nod to each other. There was definitely some signaling. So maybe it wasn't scripted, but like, dude, hey, when I'm on the ground in your ear, I'm going to tell you a quick one word and we're going to do that. But it is when you're doing some crazy stuff, like, hey, so both people got to be in the know.
Yeah.
No ropes, so there's no aerial jumping, nothing like that. It's all ground hitting wrestling.
My body hurts just watching. I love watching wrestling, but I'm just like, never. I don't care how much you could like, we can show you how to. I'm like, it doesn't know still.
Good.
I think they've done a very good job of exploiting their own niche and, not having the ring post and everything else. So that's very interesting scenario with that. And it's going to make them stand out a little bit more. So kudos to those guys. I think it's brilliant if you can do anything that makes you stand out in the era where everyone is trying to do something to stand out.
Yeah.
They're competing for your 2 hours a day.
They are.
And these shows are very hard hitting, and they take a very long time to coordinate. That's why they only come out once or twice a year.
Yeah.
These particular ones. And it has to be coordinated because all these wrestlers wrestle in other promotions.
Yeah.
And so they got to make sure that they're not, injured or going to get injured. Mm-hmm. One guy, his name is Gabe Kidd. He wrestled in one of these during the weekend and separated his shoulder. Injured himself so much that during the pay-per-view he was wrestling in, he had to take a step down and relinquish his belt.
Wow.
In an actual pay-per-view because of the match he had doing this style wrestling the night before. So you got to watch out and coordinate in that way too. So
I'm sure there's a little bit of contract communication as well.
Yep.
You know, can you even do other things, and how can you do it? But
that's why when you get into a promotion like WWE and they pay you well enough, you don't have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're in AEW, they pay you well enough not to, but they give you the ability to still do it, which is why a lot of people like AEW better than WWE because they can still hold down their indie contracts and meet better fans and have more interactions with them. There was this one guy at an AEW event who was sitting behind the commentators ringside, and he had a sign. He said, these seats cost less than the WrestleMania nosebleed seats.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's where it became a shame is that, you know, that again, it's something for it belongs to blue collar individuals in our country. It's one of the few things. Look, you know, it's hard to go to an NBA game or, you know, NFL and everything. Is the prices have gotten ridiculous. Baseball's still kind of affordable, but wrestling, you know, it used to be, you know, the mom, dad, 2 kids, and it was reasonable. Now it's gotten to the point where it's elitist, where they're just like, you know, you got to come with $5,000 to sit in a crap seat. That doesn't make any sense.
Freddie, how much were your seats for you and Richard to go to the New Japan show?
I honestly don't remember.
Nearly like $100, and you guys were right there.
Yeah, I think that was about right.
Yeah.
And it was some good seats. We were like 1 or 2 rows by the entrance.
That's what
it's not fair. It's not fair to supplement that with saying, okay, well, if you either pay our prices or you can just stream so you can watch us. But yeah, it's like seeing somebody to perform in Vegas. You know, it gets to the point where you just I
think AEW has an interesting dilemma on their hands when it comes to they could seize the loyal WWE fandom because a lot of people feel betrayed by what TKO, the purchase of it is, and especially going overseas, and there's a lot of that doesn't.
Saudi Arabia,
a lot of that doesn't sit right. But you've got this opportunity. Tony Khan has to do a better job of seizing that because that week when he said, "Well, we're going to be in Dubai," I would have got every independent company together, and we would have put on some form of a wrestling extravaganza that would have told like we're still here for. Yeah, we're still here for you.
For the blue collar fans, right?
And if you do that, you've got lifetime. Because the one thing about wrestling is you grow up with it. Your grandfather watched it. Your father watched it. You're watching. You tell your kids to watch it. It's one of the last like true entertainment that is generational.
I cried like a baby last night during a title exchange on AEW.
Yeah.
That's how great the stories were.
That's what it is.
Yeah. You know, that's how good that they were. But unfortunately, we are way over on time. And we can go on with this discussion for the rest of our lives. But, but we don't have that much time. Everybody's got to get to work because you're all old. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. Thank you, Alexander, for joining us.
Thanks, buddy.
Livening up our discussion on our special 300th episode. Everybody in the chat room, you guys have been fan-fucking-tastic. I love you guys. Thank you for showing up. I hope to see you more often. Everybody else out there, thanks for tuning in to episode 300. We will see you guys back here next week, 8:30. Until then, Alex, you want to tell everybody where to find you?
Oh, man, you know, appreciative of the time. Thank you, guys. It's 300 is not an easy task. That goes to show dedication. Most people just talk about things. You guys have actually done it. So, you know, kudos to you guys. You know, again, Shadowe Knows Network. You guys can pop over there and watch us. We do things all through like Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays. And you can find something to watch for us over there. Or you can go over to our fine buddies where you saw Mr. Scott Solo of Sarlacc Digest podcast. You want to talk to us? Hey, you know, pop over into the Syndicate Discord. And that's where fandom lives, all fandom. So whether if you want to talk about wrestling, you can do it there. You want to talk about Star Wars, you can do it there. It's your take, it's your fandom. There's no right or wrong for it to be there. So I appreciate having the opportunity to be with you fine gentlemen. And hopefully it won't be the last time I'm ever invited back. I hope I haven't done anything to get booted off.
Well, not this time.
And it doesn't matter if we deodorant it up. We're all on camera, so we can't offend that way. No one's getting booted for anything, like that. So we're safe there.
Well,
not unless you're sitting next to somebody.
I showered. I freshened up. This time.
Appreciate it.
This time.
Because it comes through on smell-o-vision. So.
Yeah, but hey, 300 is a big deal to me too. Because remember, you think about comics, when you hit your 300, issue, it is, you got there, and I think getting to 300 means okay, you got the momentum to keep adding because you got this far. So,
I'm not sure Dave said. Yes,
Thank you everybody for helping us get to 300. Thank
Yeah.
you, Joey and Freddie and whatever your name is. All your effort and all your help, everything. It's been amazing. Hope here's the 300 more.
Yeah.
Like seriously. And to Richard for the first 300, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
We miss you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next week, we will see you guys then. Thanks for tuning in and talk to you.